Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Kenzie if you're new here. So happy that you're here. I'm pretty sure I've been waiting like 2 months to film this video. I am so excited about it. This video is actually in collaboration with two of my best friends on here and in real life, Evelyn and Jenna. We thought it would be fun to do a collaboration video of styling different Christmas decor items, but we're all three gonna style it different ways so you can get multiple different styling inspiration. So we all have different styles and tastes, but we did get a lot of the same Christmas decor items. So we thought that it would be fun to show you all of these same items styled just in 3 different houses, 3 different places, and 3 different ways. We all kind of shared some ideas of 1 to 2 items of how we're gonna style it, so we made sure not to style it all the same way. So I have an idea of some of the ways that they're gonna style these things, but mostly I'm just gonna be surprised like you guys are. So it's gonna be really fun to watch. The first item that we're gonna style, well, that I'm gonna style, I don't know what they're gonna style, is the paper mache bowl. So not necessarily a Christmas item, a dedicated Christmas item, but it's something that we all have. And we figured it's a bowl. Almost everyone at home has a bowl of some sort. So we thought we would just give you different ways to decorate a bowl like this. So I decided to use this paper mache bowl as a planter. And I stuck one of my faux trees that I got from Hobby Lobby a few years ago. I just stuck that in this paper mache bowl. And this has like a little bit of burlap kind of wrapped around the bottom of the tree. So in order to cover that a little bit and to make it look like it fits around the width of the bowl a little bit better, I filled it in with some pine cones. And I also just added some brass bells just to make it a little bit more interesting, to give it some contrast and to fill in that space within the bowl. So now I'm gonna stick it on this little wooden riser, and I'm gonna kind of use this as a plant stand. So I'm just gonna stick this right in front of my fireplace to fill in that blank space a little bit, and it also just adds some Christmas down below. I have floating shelves, and obviously our Christmas tree is really high, and we have a lot of things hanging on the wall that represent Christmas, but I feel like there's not a lot of Christmas items that are lower to the floor, so this will just kind of help balance out the greenery. I love this in here. I love how rustic this paper mache bowl is. It looks very crafted and handmade, and that's because it definitely is. And it's not something that's breakable. It's literally paper, so it's not going to shatter and break, so I feel very comfortable using it here. Normally I'm always just using this as a bowl, but I decided to just change it up a little bit, and I love it. Now I only want to use it as a planter. The next item I'm going to style are these rustic hanging bells. These are a very popular Christmas item and have been over the past few years, and there's so many different high-end interior design sites that sell their own version of this item. So I personally got mine from Amber Interiors a few years ago, but they're everywhere. I know Amazon has them, McGee & Co. So normally I try to incorporate bells within my mantle of some sort, but I've just been doing that every single year. So I decided to come up with something different. I decided to just hang these bells on the front handle of my oven. We already have a pot holder hanging here, a woven pot holder that's mostly just used for decorations. Every now and then I will use it. So I'm just layering the bells over my pot holder, and it looks a little brown to me, and I feel like it needs a little bit more contrast. So I'm going to go in with this juniper stem that I got from Amazon and just stick it in the middle and kind of fluff it out a bit until I like the way that it looks. I specifically use this stem because half of the leaves are fallen off, and I didn't want too much greenery here. I just wanted a little touch of something. So I just decided to get this little half a sprig and stick it in there, and it looked perfect. This is one of those decorations that's lower to the floor that you don't see all the time. So it just helps balance out the space and make the space feel a little bit more even, you know what I'm saying? So now it's time to style these brass pomegranates. This is one of my favorite decor pieces that I picked up this year. These are just so stunning and rustic looking, and they're just not a Christmas decoration that you see every day or think of. They're just kind of a unique thing. So I really like them. They're from McGee & Co. and they're actually pretty affordable, but I previously had used these as bowl filler, and I actually put it in the paper mache bowl that we talked about earlier. But an accident happened. And one of them broke. I was trying to film a reel because we're also trying to make a reel on Instagram. And I was like throwing them up in the air to make a cool transition, and they broke. my bowl plan got vetoed at the last minute, but I came up with something else and decided to use these on my mantle. So I have a space on my mantle that doesn't have as much greenery because I have it kind of drooping, so it's more on one side and it's a little bit asymmetrical. On that side, right above my stockings, I decided to just put these 3 pomegranates that I have left and just put them on top of there. I put the small ones on both sides and then the bigger middle one in the middle. And I made sure to turn them in all different directions so they looked a little bit more organically placed. I always have such a difficult time decorating this mantle because there's not a lot of space between our mantle and our TV. So candlesticks and just in bigger vases and whatnot, they just never fit on there. So these pomegranates are just great because they're small, they're short, they fit under that TV, but they still stand out and make a statement. I have a lot of touches of gold in my house, especially in my kitchen. So I think this is a great way to bring that gold over to our living room. And because it's on the mantle, which is in the center of the room, I think it is the perfect amount, not too much, but it definitely adds that little pizzazz that the mantle needed. So next we're gonna style velvet ornaments. You guys know, if you are anywhere on the internet, you know that these are viral. For the past few years, velvet ornaments have just been such a popular item to decorate with on your tree. And so I thought that it might be a fun idea to give you some other ideas of how to decorate velvet ornaments or just ornaments of any sort. So I do have some velvet ornaments on my tree, but I decided to bring most of them into the center of my home on my dining table. And I just put them in this large bowl and I just mix the colors and sizes. So they're all very neutral and cohesive with one another, but they are different sizes and textures just to give it a little bit more interest. I also added some boucle ornaments that I have just to, again, add some more texture, add some more contrast with the white. I have a lot of white in my house, so I felt like this arrangement almost needed that pop of white just to kind of go with everything else in my home. So I'm just playing around with the placement of these ornaments. I'm also adding in some mini cedar stems that I got from Hobby Lobby just to add some greenery. I'm also gonna add these maroon, almost burgundy colors, baby's breath, to the bowl as well. I also added some rustic bells to add just a little bit more dimension and something different to this centerpiece. I don't normally like to have tall centerpieces on my dining table. We always end up moving them out of the way so we can see each other across the table anyways. And that's just annoying. I don't want to do that every time we eat. So this little hodgepodge bowl of Christmas is just great for that. You're able to see over, but it still, again, it makes a big statement on the table. There's a lot going on in this bowl, but it's small enough that it doesn't overwhelm the space. It's not too much. The next item I'm styling are these Christmas Village houses. These are from the Wonder Shop line at Target. These are only $5 each, which is so amazing. Studio McGee sells some very similar houses that for a pack of 3, it's $40. I actually got that version of her houses a few years back. It's not the same this year, but it looks very similar. So because I already had those houses, I decided to mix these new Wonder Shop houses in with those houses. And I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to make a statement. I feel like I always buy houses every year, but I never know how to decorate with them. So I was determined to use these houses this year, and this is what I came up with. I used these in my living room on my floating shelves and I just lined them up all in a row. I love the way that this turned out. It's so minimal and simple. I put the Wonder Shop ones a little bit far back on the shelves and then the Studio McGee ones a little bit more up on the shelves just to add a little bit more dimension. I really like the look of all the houses lined up together. It just feels clean and minimal and Christmassy, which is exactly the look that I was going for. So this next one is pretty fun. We all got the exact same print from Etsy and we're just gonna see how we style it differently, what frames we use, where we put it. I am really excited to see what they come up with, but for me, I decided to put this in my kitchen. We have a really awkward space between my dining room and my kitchen, and we have a big wall that has a blank space that needs to be filled. I just got a clear frame that I already had from Hobby Lobby, and it has some random picture on it, and then I just stuck my sleigh picture over the top of it, and I just used double-sided tape. I tore the edges of the paper a little bit to make it feel a little bit more antique, and I just felt like it went with the vibe of the picture in general. So I bent the picture back and forth where I wanted to tear off a piece, and then I just lightly tore it off, and I was careful with it, but I didn't want to be too careful. I did want some imperfections in there so it looks like I did it on purpose. And then when I was done tearing off the sides, I just got a quarter and I just rubbed the sides off a little bit just so they can stand out a little bit, and it also just helps with the fraying. So I just paired this underneath another print that I got from Etsy that has similar neutral brown colors in it, and I stacked those on top of each other and called it good. I love the way that this turned out, and this wall definitely needed something, and one picture just wasn't enough. So I think pairing these two pictures together just turned out so good. Now we're gonna style these cedar stems. These are from the Hearth and Hand line at Target, and these are so big. I personally got the bigger size. They're definitely really good quality, but they are so full. So I got 3 of them and put them in a vase, and I just thought that it was too much, honestly. So I decided to go for a more minimal look, and I started with 1, and then I thought maybe that's too minimal. So then I put 2 in a vase, and I like the sparse kind of airiness that you can see throughout the leaves. It makes it feel a little bit more simple. There's a lot of decorations going on in my living room, so I really just wanted a sparse look for these stems. So all I did for these stems is just styled them in one of the vases that I had, and I made sure to really spread them apart as much as they could so they could look really sparse and just get the look that I was going for. I also added in these burgundy baby's breath just to add a little pop of color here and there. I didn't want to add too much because, again, I'm looking for a more sparse arrangement. So I personally love the wispy look of these stems. If you want a more full look, I would say get 3, but for me 2 was plenty enough, and it's definitely what I preferred. The last item I want to talk about is also a really popular Christmas decor item that almost everyone uses at least some type of, and that is velvet ribbon, or honestly ribbon of any sort. And there are so many different ways to decorate using bows in your house. I have a little bows on the back of my counter chairs, but I thought it'd be so cute to wrap this bow around my kitchen crock. You could also wrap this around a vase that you have, just to add a little more touch of Christmas to your greenery arrangement. If you have like a burgundy or a red bow with some green stems coming out of a vase, that would be really pretty as well. So my way to style this velvet ribbon is just wrapping it around a vase or a structure of some sort. You can see behind me, I have it on my kitchen crock. I always recommend to use ribbon of any sort to really just dress up your styling. If you don't know what to do with something, put some ribbon on it. That's it for today. If you are still here, thank you so much for watching. If you're coming from Jenna and Evelyn's channel, thank you guys so much. I would love if you considered subscribing. I post so many different videos, all the way from budget-friendly home makeovers and DIY renovations to styling my home and to all things interior design and designer dupes, affordable looks for less. We do it all around here. So I would love if you stick around and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think of this collaboration video. Did you like it? Is there anything that we should do differently next time? Should we even do this again next time? Let us know. We would love some feedback, and we would love to know how you guys liked it. So thank you so much for being here again. I truly appreciate you guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in a few days in a new one. Bye.